All. How has been our day? You are all welcome to Swapas Educational Consults. This is our mathematics class. Today we are still continue checking quadratic equations, and the formula we are applying today is completing the square method. We observe that many students always avoid completing the square method of solving quadratic expression. Some of them prefer using factorization method and the general method. They think completing the square method is difficult. No, it is not difficult. All we need to do is to follow the steps each time we want to use completing the square method to solve quadratic equations. So this step number 1. Don't forget the formula for quadratic equation. The definition of quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. And the original equation given to us as far as this example is concerned is x squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Anytime we are working on quadratic equation, the first thing that should come to our mind is to identify a, b and c in the equation given to us. We should be able to identify the value of a, the value of b and the value of c. In this question now, what is the value of a, what is the value of b, and what is the value of c? We are having, okay, the expression itself, the original expression itself is x squared minus 8x plus 16 equal to 0. So a is 1. The value of a in this question is 1 because 1 is here. In mathematics, anytime they write x squared, it means 1x squared. Look at x squared in the definition of quadratic. Ax squared, you have a before x squared. And here now we have ordinary x squared. That means there is 1 behind the x squared, meaning that we are having 1x squared. But in mathematics, they don't usually write 1x squared. But since 1 is not here, but let us have it in mind that there is a 1 here, meaning that the value of a is 1, the value of b is minus 8, while the value of c is 16. A is 1, b is minus 8, and c, constant c, is what? Is 16. So the first step to carry out anytime we are solving with completing the square method, the first step is transfer c over the bridge. That is, take c to the right hand side. The value of c here is 16 plus 16, so we have to transfer it over the bridge. So therefore we are having x squared minus 8x is equals to plus 16 transfer over the bridge becomes minus 16. That is step number 1. This method of solving quadratic expression, the completing the square method requires steps. Don't forget, you have to follow the steps sequentially for you to be able to solve using the method. Now the first step is to transfer c over the bridge. We have done that. So what is now the second step? The second step is to look at our b. What we have at b, you divide that b by, okay, before then you have to look at the value of a, and the value of a is coefficient of x squared. The coefficient of x squared is the value of a. You have to look at the value of a to divide everything in the equation. Look at the value of a to divide everything in the equation. So here now, the step has already taken itself automatically because the value of a we have here is 1. By the time we use 1 to divide everything in the equation, we still have the equation back. So there's no need of taking that step. But we just have it. You just have to have it in our mind that the second step is to try to divide everything in the expression by a, the value of a. Because we never can tell in our own question, when we are solving our own question, we may have 2 here, we may have 3 here. So if you have 2 here or you have 3 here, you have to use that 2 to divide everything in the equation. If you have 3 here or 4, you have to use whatever you have here to divide everything in the equation. That is step number 2. But for the fact that we are having 1 here now, the step has already been taken by itself automatically. Then we proceed to the next step, step number 3. Step number 3 is to look at our b. You look at b. What's our b here? Our b is minus 8. So we have x squared minus 8. Are you getting it now? So this minus 8, you have to add it plus, you have to add it to this side. You divide whatever you have as b. This b, you divide it by 2. You square the result. you add it to this side and the other side. The value of b we have here is minus 8. Don't forget, the formula is you divide it by 2, you square the result, then you add everything to this side. This is that capital plus, add to this side and the other side, is equals to minus 16 plus minus 8 divided by 2 square. Minus 8 divided by 2 square, minus 8 divided by 2 square that we have here is still the same thing we are having here. So we add to this side plus, we add to the other side too plus. I believe you are getting it. That is step number 3. So we are going to have x square plus minus 8 divided by 2, that's minus 4 square, is equals to minus 16 plus minus 8 divided by 2 is still minus 4 square. Are we following it? So the next step now is very important. We have to take note. This one is having square, this one is having square. You don't apply, you don't say minus 4 square. No, minus 4 square is 16. It is not applicable to this left hand side, though it is applicable to the right hand side, but it is not applicable here. You take, since this one is having square, this one is having square, you take only one square. So don't treat them individually, treat the two of them together. I believe you are getting it. So we are going to have x, you know, plus and minus. Don't forget our previous classes. When we have plus and minus, it's minus. Plus and minus is minus. We have 4 square. The square that we are having here and here, we are picking only one to represent the two of them. And plus and minus is minus, that is we are having at the middle here. Is equals to minus 16 plus minus 4 square is 16. I believe you are getting it. Are we getting it? So we are going to have x minus 4 square is equals to minus 16 plus 16, 0. Are we getting it? So we are going to have x minus 4 is equals to plus or minus, we have to transfer this square to the other side. By the time we transfer it, it's going to become square root at the other side. And as we are doing that, we have to introduce plus or minus sign. This is plus or minus. Plus or minus square root of 0. Are we getting it? That is x minus 4 is equals to plus or minus square root of 0 is still 0. So we are interested in x. Let us make x the sort of the formula. Let x be at this side, while every other thing go to the other side. We're going to have x is equals to minus 4 before. By the time minus 4 is being transferred over the bridge, it becomes plus 4. 4 plus or minus 0. So x is equals to 4 plus 0 or 4 minus 0. That is the essence of having plus or minus. You treat this 0 with plus and minus again. So at the end of everything, we are going to have x is equals to 4, or 4 plus 0 is 4. 4 minus 0 is still 4. That means x is equals to 4 twice. So that is the answer. Thanks so much for watching.